Thank you everyone for coming to the National Press Club for this press conference and film screening of Michelle Obama 2024, Her Real Life Story and Plan for Power. My name is Malik Obama. I am speaking to you today from my hometown, Nyangoma Kogelo in Kenya. I'm the brother of former President Barack Obama, who was named after my father, Barack Obama. You have probably seen pictures of me online at Barack and Michelle's wedding. I was the best man. I'm here to introduce my friend, filmmaker, Joel Gilbert. I've known Joel for almost 10 years. He's a great talent and a fantastic filmmaker and journalist. He knows how to talk to people and how to find information that no one even thinks to look for. Joel told me about his research into Michelle Obama's life story and her political plans about a year ago. I told him I would be very interested to see this movie and hoped he would proceed. In fact, Joel did succeed. His book and film of the same name, Michelle Obama 2024, Her Real Life Story and Plan for Power, are being released today. Joel will now say a few words and then screen the film for this esteemed audience. Like me, you are going to learn a lot. It's very important because Joel makes the case that Michelle is running for president in 2024, and she has a good chance to win. Without further ado, let me introduce my friend, the great journalist and filmmaker, Joel Gilbert.
Thank you, Malik Obama, and thank you all for coming today. I'm happy to be here once again at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. to announce the release of my new film and book, Michelle Obama 2024, Her Real Life Story and Plan for Power. It's available on Salem Now, exclusively for DVD and live streaming. Go to salemnow.com. The book publisher is Post Hill Press, and it is available now on Amazon. Today is the world premiere screening of Michelle Obama 2024. Now I'm going to say a few words, and then we'll watch the film together, and I'll take your questions. As 2018 rolled into 2019, and 2019 into 2020, I became increasingly aware that Michelle Obama was, well, everywhere. First, I noticed that Michelle and Barack began cashing in on their years of public service within weeks of leaving the White House. In 2017, they inked a joint deal with Penguin Random House worth a cool $65 million to write their respective books. Michelle released her autobiography called Becoming in November 2018. Then, after that, Michelle and Barack signed a multi-million-dollar production deal with Netflix, which included a movie version of Becoming. Of course, all the book reviews of Becoming were pure gush, and the autobiography performed well, selling more than 10 million copies, and proving that Michelle was more of a pop culture icon than her husband. Never shy about aggrandizing herself, Michelle embarked on a US tour and then a world tour to promote the book. She sold out 20,000-seat arenas and sat with celebrity pals like Oprah and Stephen Colbert for interviews about her storied life. There was scarcely a talk show or podcast that Michelle passed up. It was all Michelle, all the time. So I decided to buy a copy of Becoming at my local Barnes & Noble. But something happened. As I walked into the store, next to copies of Becoming on the bookshelves, there was a display of books written about Michelle Obama for children. Now, these had hero-worshiping titles like, I Look Up to Michelle Obama, Be Bold, Baby, Michelle Obama, Michelle Obama, First Lady and Superhero, The Story of Michelle Obama, and Courage is Contagious, and other reasons to be grateful for Michelle Obama. Now, the book that stood out the most was a smallish volume that was disturbingly reminiscent of Chairman Mao's collection of sayings known as the Little Red Book. Michelle's book was called Pocket Wisdom, Pocket Michelle Obama Wisdom, Wise and Inspirational Words from Michelle Obama. I opened it and read a few of the seemingly benign pearls like, be the best you can be, and know your community, know your politics. To me, this was clearly an orchestrated effort to create a cult of personality for Michelle Obama amongst American youth. What I witnessed at Barnes & Noble only confirmed my long-held suspicions about Michelle Obama. Her husband, Barack, and his allies were preparing her to run for president in 2024. And I noticed she was following a formula that exactly mirrored Barack's path to the White House. Barack had based much of his campaign on his personal story. People remember his book depicted in his memoir, Dreams from My Father. So, of course, we said Michelle did the exact same thing with her own autobiography, Becoming. Both of them have personal stories that they're basing their lives and candidacy upon. Next, Barack had been John Kerry's keynote convention speaker in 2004. The keynote slot is typically given to the person likely to be the nominee at the next convention. Lo and behold, Michelle appeared at the virtual Democrat convention in 2020 as Joe Biden's keynote speaker. Then, too, Barack Obama started his career in politics in 1992 by heading up a voter registration organization in Chicago called Project Vote. Sure enough, Michelle founded and became the leader of a voter registration organization called When We All Vote. Michelle was and is clearly headed for a presidential run, following the same path as Barack. In fact, in reading Becoming, I could smell the calculation a mile away. I learned that to find her voice, though, Michelle employed a white woman, Sarah Corbett, the collaborator who actually wrote the book. I concluded that she wrote for Michelle not so much a memoir, but a political positioning document. That's what Becoming is. In fact, Michelle's life history had been all politics all the time, beginning when she was 6 years old, tagging along with her father, who was a precinct captain for the Democrat Party machine in Chicago. Today, in poll after poll, Michelle ranks at the top of America's most popular women. She has some 18 million followers on Twitter, 21 million on Facebook, and 48 million on Instagram. A typical post by Michelle garners thousands of responses as well as instant media coverage. Although more has written about Michelle Robinson Obama than any woman on the planet not named Hillary, I realize that professional journalists employed to report the news had long ago abdicated their responsibilities. Almost all the reporting about Michelle Obama has been soft and superficial, even reverential. The result is a public history of Michelle Obama as far removed from reality as that of her husband Barack, the subject of my 2012 documentary, Dreams from My Real Father. I realized then that if I didn't investigate the background of someone as sacred to the media as Michelle Obama, that no one would. Even before I had gotten in deep, I had seen enough of Michelle to distrust the poor little girl from the South Side who was held back in life shtick that Michelle had been peddling since she first emerged on the national scene. So, I set out to research Michelle's entire history the way any serious journalist would of a presidential candidate. I began my research by talking to people who knew Michelle, classmates, old boyfriends, co-workers, teachers, college professors, and relatives, even her mother. Day by day, my knowledge grew. The real story of Michelle's life wasn't unfolding before my eyes, it was unraveling. Each day brought a new epiphany. The actual life story of Michelle Obama started to whisper to me, and that whisper turned into a shout. Michelle's official life story, I discovered, had almost nothing to do with the reality. For example, I learned that Michelle spent her childhood running away from the Black community and was never part of it. I learned that she mostly lived in fear of her Black neighbors who accused her of acting white and talking white, which Barack later complained about in his 2004 convention speech. I found out that Michelle has been chronically trying to manipulate black voters for years with phony claims of racial discrimination to earn their sympathy and votes, such as her story about being racially profiled by her school counselor in high school as regards her Princeton application. I found out her counselor was a church-going black woman. I learned that Michelle spent her professional career in Chicago selling out the black community. First, as assistant planning commissioner for Mayor Daley, Michelle was part of the redevelopment scheme that made thousands of black families homeless at Cabrini Green and other projects so they could hand over the land to Democrat donor developers like Tony Rezko. And having proven her callousness toward the black community, Michelle was hired by the University of Chicago Medical Center to head up the Southside Health Collaborative. Her job was to deny access to black Southsiders so they could not receive medical care at the U of C emergency room. It was Michelle who ran the illegal patient dumping scheme, literally putting poor people in vans and dumping them at crappy strip mall clinics so they would be denied access to good health care. I also learned that Michelle was a community organizer for 3 years in Chicago. Who knew that? And I learned that Michelle's law firm colleague, who quickly became her close friend and mentor, was none other than Weather Underground terrorist Bernadine Dorn. It was Dorn who schooled Michelle in the politics of fear, which Michelle preached verbatim on the 2008 campaign trail. Michelle still speaks of fear to this day. Events of the past year and a half have made Michelle Obama the most practical 2024 Democrat candidate. Do Democrats even have a choice? Her name recognition and popularity have her atop the polls. In 2008, with an assist from the media, Barack Obama was able to conceal his radical background and sell himself to the nation as a racial healer. With the release of Michelle Obama 2024, I think it's not going to be easy for Michelle to hide her shameful past of selling out and exploiting the black community she now pretends to care about, nor for being the student of an anti-American 1960s radical. Anyway, having been convinced that Michelle planned to run for president in 2024, I headed for the one place that held the evidence I needed to completely flesh out the real Michelle Obama: Chicago. Now, please sit back and enjoy Michelle Obama 2024, her real life story and plan for power.